handy, yeah.
Oh, now this is one of those 19-inch RCAs that I grew up with.
One of RCA's portable tube-type color televisions. Weighs 125 pounds. It's hell to carry. But yeah, that was your bedroom TV, your kitchen TV, your second TV for a lot of people.
Or the first TV that someone got color.
In some cases.
Old turntable down there. You can't see it. Oh, look at that speaker.
Yeah, there's a lot of junk in here.
Look at that speaker.
I got to clean this place up. Yeah, it's out of a Motorola.
Alnico magnet?
Yeah, of course. I found the Curtis Mathes fan site the other day. There's a person who raves about Curtis Mathes, claiming they made everything, including their record changers, by hand. They made their own speakers by hand. This person needs to take their meds and shut up.
Now, let's see what else we have in here. We have, oh, look.
There's a Predicta.
There's a Predicta.
There's a Predicta.
That's one of the most iconic televisions ever.
Yeah, it is. There's a post-war movie theater projector. A lot of theaters had those after World War II.
There's a big tube amp or something there.
It's a tube mixer. It's Bell or Roland. I'm surprised nobody's wanted to buy that yet. It's got octal tubes in it.
Now, what kind of bulb? Is that an arc lamp or is that in this projector?
That's a nice later model xenon arc lamp. Runs on house current.
Really?
Yeah. Plug it in. Yeah. Yeah, the old ones had a big old carbon arc run on 220. About 40 amps.
They made noise too.
They smelled wonderful.
Here's a...
These are really cute.
Oh, isn't that something?
That is an early 60s GE 12-inch black and white TV. These things were like $79.
Would you consider that a mid-century modern product?
Yes, yes. Look at the shape of it. It had a handle, which is missing. Molded plastic.
Does it still work?
This one probably would. I haven't plugged it in lately. These sold for less than $100. This was a great kids' TV.
And here's an old jukebox.
Yeah.
Did you call Rodney?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We've been a little busy. There's one of these on eBay right now, if you want to look it up. It's an Arion kids jukebox. These were made just before World War II. This big lollipop tone arm like a Wurlitzer, 78 turntable, little speaker. It's got a 3-tube amp in it. And lights behind the plastic. Of course, this one's got the plastic broken here. They want $800 for the one on eBay. And that's just a spare speaker.
And there's the classic Sony Trinitron.
The first skinny color, Sony skinny color set. They're like this deep. Darn good set. That one still works, kind of, sort of.
Look at the old JVC cameras up here.
Yeah, there's a KY. It's either a 2000 or a 1900. It's a
Tube type?
The 2000, yeah. Three Saticons.
What are these Ampexes here?
Those are Norelco. Let me see. My hands are a little bit dirty, but these are late 60s Norelco cassette decks. See if I can make sense of one without all the props. You put a tape in it, and it plays, and it spits it out the side when it's done playing. So you could put a stack of cassettes on this machine. There was a little plastic box, and it would play, slide, play, slide, play, slide, play, slide. Then they came up with a two-sider. It's plexiglass, and you open the door, and this thing sets here, and the tapes go through a track and are dropped upside down on the stack. So as it pushes one tape out, it goes up and flips over. It'll play the same stack of cassettes over and over and over and over.
Cheap music.
I know somebody who shall remain nameless because I hate him, who put his first satellite radio station on the air with one of these. And then told me it wasn't good enough, and he went out and bought a Benjamin Miracord multi-cassette deck that I told him was crap. And it did not work, and he bitched about it. But I would give him these back. But these are neat decks. Fidelity, not so hot. We're talking like 50 to 7,000 or 8,000 cycles. But the convenience. I mean, this was a rich man's music system in the early 70s. course, Ampex sold them. Two of the other people sold them under their name, but they're made.
Now, is that a flying spot scanner up there?
Where? I do have the B&K Flying Spot Test Pattern Generator. There's two of them here. I don't know if that's one of them or not, but I do have those.
Well, we won't drag it down.
There's one
there.
around the corner that's down at ground level, I think.
Well, let's keep going down and see what we have. We have a lot of file cabinets, I suppose.
Yeah, service manual. There's some good oddball stuff in here. Let me see, something really cool.
There's a tube amp.
Here is a FM tuner somebody literally built from a kit. IF strip, factory made front end, built their own audio,
aluminum
audio
chassis.
output, aluminum chassis, takes an AS5 audio output too. Go find one of those. Don't know if it works or not, but somebody's put a lot of time in this to get FM back in the day.
So this is an interesting looking turntable here.
Hang on. Which one? Oh, it's a Motorola. This was their pride and joy. It's a BSR Monarch changer, one of the best changers ever made. It's a little slow, but it's smooth and elegant. And this is Motorola's ultimate styling. This was beautiful gold with this stylized tone arm and all this trim work, but it's still a BSR Monarch changer at heart, which had a big ugly tone arm. But boy, are they dependable. Beat the crap out of Voice and Music for reliability. These are smooth and quiet and elegant and very dependable.
Now, what is this right down here with the VU meters and the...
That's out of a quad machine. That's the audio unit out of probably a VR2000.
Ampex?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me see.
Got a lot of beta decks and 3/4
I gotta
inch.
throw that sucker out. There's no call for those anymore. I'm looking for the car 8 tracks. There's some in here. Heathkit. People would kill for this. Bi-amp Magnavox from the 50s with 6 6v6s powering the woofer and 2 push-pull 6v6s powering the horn.
I bet that sounded good.
This sucker would blow you out. The Magnavox Grand Stereo Console from 1959 and 60 had 2 of these. One for each channel.
Whose horn? Is that a Voice of the Theater horn?
That's an Altec, yeah. That's a 802 or whatever, I forget. Yeah, there's one laying up there, and there's some imitation Altec cabinets. You used to do a lot of disco with those.
Oh, look at this TV.
Yeah, Channel Master transistor set to compete with the Sony 8-inch transistor set. Y'all stay on the shelf. This one's pretty rough.
Runs on batteries.
Battery weighs 35 pounds without the battery.
Metal case.
Yeah. Sold by Channel Master. It was made in Japan by somebody else. You see the Sony on eBay a lot. You don't see that one very often. There's a 3M cart machine from Muzak. Plays a big 2 7-inch open reel tapes stacked on top of each other, and it runs back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. There was a time when you didn't have FM in your car, but if you were a well-educated person, wanted classical music, you could buy a self-contained with power amplifier FM radio for your car. You were something if you had FM in your Eldorado. So there was a Motorola before they became a cell phone giant, FM only, and this is actually a stereo.
Ooh.
Stereo FM.
I was wanting to see if you had one of the original Armstrong ones at the lower frequencies.
I do. I don't know where they are exactly. There's a little 8-track from the day, back in the 60s.
Now this is an interesting looking...
We'll get to those in a minute. You keep jumping ahead on me.
Okay, sorry.
I'm trying to find the 4 tracks. And there's some in here, I think. I may be wrong. There's a CB radio. Who wants those? Okay, Heathkit. There's a Pilot FM tuner. It's actually a receiver with FM only, which you can't do anymore. You have to have AM and FM or else. Seabird amplifiers, more Magnavox. I swear there's a 4-track tape player in here someplace. Oh, I found the power supply of that right down there a minute ago. early tape recorders. This is an Echophone, or it's Icor. That was the early 50s.
Now look at the tube.
Round color tube to round color TV set. 21FP22.
Now what's this TV down here?
It's a Conrack color monitor. It's got a 19-inch. It's like that RCA TV over there. It's a 19-inch color monitor.
This is some interesting tubes in this thing.
30s Magnavox AM radio. Yeah, it's a good radio. It was years ago. Somebody built a cabinet for it. So there's an early computer, if anybody was thinking about early computers.
What kind is it?
282 IBM.
Oh.
Yeah. There's a time we'd have killed for one of those.
There's a radio station mixer board.
There's one of my boards. I got enough boards to open 3 radio stations. That's a Spartan.
What's this here?
That's a CCU to the last image orthicon black and white studio camera made by National Video or something. I need to find it a home.
So what are these things again?
Well, these are Heathkit tuners and amplifiers.
Are they solid state?
These are tubes. That one's tube.
Are they any good?
They can be rebuilt. That one's tube. Yeah, if you've got patience and an FM generator, and that one is tube. They're all tube tuners. I've got a bunch though. There used to be a dime a dozen. Oh, there's a piece. There's a concert tone multi-channel mixer that came out of the Ruck estate.
Mm-hmm.
Concert tone and Berlant, big audio company, long gone. There was a 4-channel mixer, tube type, mono.
Now these do look like Voice of the Theater.
Yeah,
so.
they're imitations. They're pretty good imitations. I bought them cheap at the pawn shop. Did a lot of shows with them.
What's that thing down on the ground
This
there?
is the neatest thing ever. Should be in a museum someplace. This is built by Impact. You've got enough light back here to see it. It holds 16-inch reels of audio tape. It's a Muzak machine.
Mm-hmm.
You put on 2 reels of tape, and it drives. No, it doesn't drive the reel tables at all. It drives the capstan. You want to get some light?
Yeah.
I should have brought my flashlight. Where's my good flashlight? Let's do this over and get a flashlight.
Well, I might be able to do with this.
Well, maybe.
Just barely.
You put 16-inch spool of tape on here. They drive the capstan to pull the tape past the heads. The tape pulling on this reel makes that reel turn to take up the slack. This thing runs at like 1 7/8 inches per second, really slow. It'll play for 24 hours on one tape. Back and forth, back and forth. I've never seen another one. Nobody I've ever talked to has ever seen another one. It's a beauty. It's got all tube electronics in it. It's got a Theatrical, a little tiny one to operate the reversing relay.
There's a big speaker right there behind us.
Well, yeah, those are my universities that I hope to God are still good after sitting here so long. I loaned those out years ago. I didn't test them. When they came back and put them up, I'd be very upset. But anyway,
What kind of TV is this?
Motorola. Those are nice sets. I need to get that one out and fix it.
What's this?
Probably a tape recorder or... Oh, no, it's a test picture tube unit. You take this out in the field or in your shop and you use this to replace the picture tube on a customer's set for troubleshooting purposes. They're on eBay a lot. I've got several laying here. I've never used them. But they're neat.
That's another projector. What is this?
That's a DeVry 35mm projector. Very popular in small theaters back in the 30s. Self-contained. That's the back side, all the gears. Runs full-size reels. There's a take-ups in the bottom. 1,000-watt lamp, or you could put an arc on it if you wanted. This will do a small theater. Oh yeah. There is a tester.
Is that a transistor
It's
tester?
a transistor tester, yes.
It had your listing of transistors down below.
We're talking the dawn of time on transistors. American-made tester for American-made transistors. Just like a tube tester, only for transistors. And you had leads up here that you clipped onto the transistors with. No sockets.
As transistors didn't usually have sockets.
Some did, some didn't.
Yeah.
But there you go. There's a tube tester for transistors. I knew it was something unusual. Ow. And on and on and on. I wonder if there was one other really neat thing in here, if I could find it. I want to show this big chrome 4-track tape player I've got, but it's probably in a box for safekeeping. Well, I can go on and on with this mess.
That's an intercom there, right?
Well, that came out of, didn't come out of your house, but one like that did, and I didn't get it. Your house was wired with one of those originally. And that's all tube.
That was a cell point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, this was a tube unit. I guess it's, yeah, there we go. Yeah, that was a big thing. Had the house with an intercom. You had music throughout the house. Of course, it was AM only. You could plug in a phonograph if you wanted to put a record player someplace. What kills me is Newton used to make a drop-down record changer that fit in the wall next to this. You just hinge it down, put a record on it to play music in your house. That had to be a dandy. Get back in the box. There we are. Old surveillance camera. We take surveillance cameras for granted. Now they're everywhere. There was a time that was a big thing to have a surveillance camera in business. People would come and stare at it. You know, never seen a closed circuit TV camera before. I'm about to run out of one here.
Now that's an unusual looking typewriter. Is that a computer terminal?
That is a IBM letter shop typewriter. It types form letters from a magnetic band memory. There's a strip of magnetic tape about this long and 2 inches wide coiled up in that machine, and you punch in a number and it finds that track on that band and it types from that band. It types, you know, dear Mr. Pause, type in the name, continue. I've put our conversation of the pause 31st, continue, blah, 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 your bill's overdue, blah, blah, blah. You know, it would stop and let you fill in the blank and then proceed until the next pause. So all you had to do was type in the pertinent information. You didn't have to type the whole damn letter. Or if you wanted that real personal touch, you had it type the same letter and have somebody sign them by hand if you want to send out multiple copies. But it looked like somebody took the time to type that letter just for you. That used to be important. That showed you were important. In the early days of typewriters, though, just the opposite was true. People that tried to use typewriters with their customers found it to be an insult because you didn't care enough about them to handwrite them a letter. You had it printed. And they were insulted. Later, getting a hand-typed letter was a compliment because it meant somebody cared enough to type a letter just for you. Form letters saved a lot of time. Trying to think, there was I had a reference to this somewhere. Oh, all those, that estate we cleaned out, who shall remain nameless. there are tons of typed letters from the computer companies, Apple and all, to this person. We don't know if they're hand typed or not. They were typed letters, typed form. May have been typed by a computer, I don't know, but they look like hand typed letters from a computer company to a customer. Never happened today.
And that was Apple computer, actually, right?
That was Apple, I believe, yes.
Who signed it?
Don't remember. We need to find out.
Yeah,
But
if it had Steve Jobs, that would be
they were
interesting.
still typing letters, answering questions, and typing letters to customers. Even if it was a computer-typed letter, it was still a letter, which you won't find today. So I thought that was neat.
Is that another Motorola turntable?
Voice of Music.
Voice of Music.
Yeah, they're everywhere.
This isn't it. Or is it old Garage?
It's an old Gerard, yeah. It's for parts. A lot of stuff just needs to be
And
thrown
what is
out of
that
this
thing
place.
there?
It's a battery charger for a 6-volt wet cell to charge your car, or the battery for your home battery radio.
Oh.
It's got metal oxide plates in it. I like the one that has a little miniature Tunger tube.
There's a Beta Deck typewriter.
Yeah. Dot matrix, yeah. There's all kinds of good stuff in here. Someday I've got to dig it all out. I've got to find out where those termites are coming from.
And something interesting, telephones.
Yeah. That was from an office phone system. It's all here.
Mm-hmm.
There's the controller. All you got to do is run wires and you've got your own phone system.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, that's not being done anymore either. It's all being done by computer.
Probably still works.
Record changes for parts, spare tubes. There's a nice Webcore Hi-Fi I need to finish.
What's this thing?
What?
This round thing.
It's the coil antenna off a radio chassis back here. Post-war upright radio, AM and shortwave only. That was the internal antenna. There were lots of patents on internal antennas back then. I've got the world's oldest waveform monitor up there, an RCA with germanium transistors in it. I had a vectorscope at one time. I don't know where it is. I had a Dumont vectorscope from the 50s at one time that I finally had to let go of. It was a beaut. Had a multi-gun electron tube. Could stand 4 sections at once, different information. One of a kind. Probably came out of WOAI or someplace back in the day. So, anyway, you've seen part of the iceberg.
A very small part of the iceberg.
Very small part of the iceberg, yeah.
What's that?
Oh, it's an Edison dictaphone. Come on.
Edison dictaphone.
Edison dictaphone.
How old is that?
They were made from the 20s up into the 50s. This is an electric one.
It's using one of those tubes.
Uses a cylinder.
Uh-huh.
This is an electric dictaphone. Has an amplifier and a microphone.
Mm-hmm.
The previous ones from day one up to the 30s were purely acoustic. Just a hose and a horn.
Mm-hmm.
No electronics required, but they did have an electric motor.
And so it had like a wax cylinder, and it just played back. Your secretary would play it back.
Yeah. I had to open that door, didn't I?
Do you have any of the cylinders?
A few.
Here's an older one right here.
Different model. That's probably a shaver. And that was how you erased the cylinders. It was with a shaving machine. I shouldn't have opened that door. I'll never be able to close it.
Well,
And I think of the shaver. You took the cylinders and shaved the surface off, and then you could record on them again. They were thick.
Mm-hmm.
You get about 20 recordings on one cylinder. Just shave it, reuse it, shave it, and reuse it. Yeah, there's 2 of those in here. There's that one. There's another one in a wooden cabinet back here someplace.
There's an old TV.
It's a STL for audio.
Uh-huh.
And I don't have the transmitters. I got 2 receivers.
No, I'm thinking that's a TV camera.
Oh, that thing. That's a national color camera, yeah.
What kind of tubes?
3 plums. I wonder what that noise was back there. What'd you find?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's a booger. It's all trans.